advised not to give loans or credit facilities to their line ministries. All government institutions must immediately desist from entering into rental agreement without going through the Committee on Rent and Accommodation. Those that already did must regularize their status immediately. The government should work on a long-term plan to create a new office complex for all ministries and their satellite institutions. There is the need for Ministry of Finance to regularize data collection in the country through a regulatory framework. The Accountant General should consider implementing the asset model of EPICO so that the government institutions can use it to store their asset register. National Audit Office should incorporate information and communication technology audits in their regular audits. Going forward, the board controllers of all MDS must be present to respond to queries when the audited accounts of the government are being discussed. Every institution summoned to appear before FPAC must be represented by the board chairperson, Director General or CEO, and Director of Finance. The Director General of GPA or his competently delegated representative must be present at all meetings of FPAC to present timely compliance review reports on MDAs. The Select Committee on Regional Government, Ombudsman, IEC, should ensure that the Local Government Act 2002 and the Finance and Audit Manual 2004 are reviewed. When central government accounts are presented, GBA must also present compliance review of all MDAs so that the issues can be considered collectively. FPACs will be given more time during committee sessions to cover more institutions under their purview to prevent backlog from building up. Accountant General and National Audit Office must ensure that the audited accounts of the government for 2020 and 2021 are submitted for review by end of October 2023. Ministry of Finance needs to agree on roadmap and the way forward for migrating from the cash basis to accruals accounting system. The Ministries of Finance and Justice must review government's engagement with GAM works by October 2023 to safeguard public interest. The National Audit Office must thoroughly probe the writing of in the books of NRA the value of 19.7 million being advance payment to COPRI by NRE. The National Audit Office must take the lead in presenting their annual activity reports. Audited financial statement to FPAC on time. The committee further recommends that accounts of 2020 to 2022 must be submitted by December 2023. On that, Honorable Speaker, I want to seize this opportunity once more to thank the committee, and to that, we have the committee comprising Honorable Alhaji Esdawa as Chairperson, Honorable Alhaji Mbo as Vice Chair, Honorable Fatou Mananjai, Member, Honorable Fat Cham, Member, Honorable Musa Cham, Member, Honorable Keba Lang Popana, Member, Honorable Keba Tumani Sane, Member, Honorable Suleiman Cham, Member, and Honorable Sidi Eskenjai, Member. We could not do this work without the support of the subject matter specialists and our able staff. Mr. Karamba Ture, the former Auditor General, Mr. Fode Mjete, Director General, DPA, Mr. Ablabi Cham, Subject Matter Specialist, Mr. Yuswa Eka, Subject Matter Specialist, and Dr. Aliu Opal, Subject Matter Specialist. The staff, the Clerk of the National Assembly, Mohamed A. Sisi, Mr. Daniel Carlos, Deputy Clerk, Legislative Business, Mr. Marabi S. Hydra, Director of Committees, Mr. Lamin Imane, Principal Committee Clerk, Mrs. Nafisa Njai, Principal Budget Officer, Mr. Modika Ba, Research Officer, Sarata Bojang, Committee Clerk, and Aisatu Sonko, Committee Clerk, and all the witnesses who ably represented the various institutions and agencies. I thank you all for your participation and cooperation with the FPAC team. And to the August Assembly, I thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman or Chairperson of the committee, for your marathon and effective tabling of the motion. I now invite any honorable member who may want to second the motion. The honorable member for Lower Flado West.
Thank you very much. I rise to second the motion and also to take part in the debate. First and foremost, I thank the committee for the brilliant job that they have done. But I suggest it was not friendly to the August country. People were sleeping, some people were slumbering in the case. So I suggest next time, if you are coming with such a report, you better summarize it. But notwithstanding, looking at the report, I've seen a lot of issues that we need to take seriously as a nation. We are talking about finance of the government. And this is the finance that is taking this government ahead. So people must be serious when they are doing their duty. Because one, there was non-adherence noticed during the course of the report. And this non-adherence, what is the cause of that? Because people have been capacitized to serve the Gambian people. But yet still there are a lot of gaps in the report to show that non-adherence to some of the standards and principles or the operational procedures were not captured. And this is something that I also expect the committee to come up with strong regulations where some people that are found wanting will be put to book. We need to be serious as a nation. We need to be serious because there are issues that are emanating from some of these institutions. They are not accepted. And we cannot tolerate it. And the assembly should be strong enough to come with regulations so that some of the people that are playing with the development of this country are put to book. Going back, there is poor data management. You go, they will say you receipts there, SAF files there. These are things that those days are gone. We are in the 21st century. I cannot go into an institution, ask for receipts, ask for staff profiles that you cannot produce it for me, and you want me to take you serious? This was highlighted in the report. And I expect us to come with strong resolution to see people that are doing this, because we cannot be receiving this report over and over. Poor data, non-adherence, those are things that we cannot accept for anybody. We have to be serious and move this country. Coming back, I'm going back to GPPA. 80%, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, that most of the services, goods, and all are under GPPA. If we can have the recommendation here, this should be the first and last that this assembly is going to recommend for GPPA. We need quality, we need standard. Enough is enough. This country have to move. You cannot be dilly-dallying us. Every now and then we'll be giving you recommendation, you cannot fulfill it. Those are not accepted anymore. I think the August House, we have to be serious and mean business. I said it some time ago, that some ministers or some heads should be sacked because we need business, and I'm repeating again. People need to take this country seriously. There are issues that are commenting on this report. Those are too baby nice. And we have to move. This country needs to move. You go to the media, taxpayers' money, we handle the taxpayers' money. And there are standards that we need to follow. Why are we violating this standard? We cannot accept it, being it political motivated or whatsoever. We have to move. And I'm warning GPPA. Enough is enough. So many recommendations have emanated from this house, and you people are not coming, you are not tuning up. You need to tune up GPPA. Enough is enough. And the IFMI system, these are grants. Minister of Finance, I don't know if you are here. Grants have to be embedded in the IFMI system. It cannot be a shortcut to dribble anybody. Nobody can dribble us anymore. You see, the grants that are coming, they have to be inputted in the IFMI system. That will be the best way that we can account and do our oversight function. And I'm not in the grant. You can see that they are not in the IFMI system. Why? And then it was very sad that the councils look a very civilized way to maneuver. They look a very civilized way, the councils throughout the country. They don't have a proper reporting system just to maneuver and confuse us. If you ask them things, they start. This is no more going to be accepted. Councils have to be very serious. This is the taxpayers' money. This country have to move, my brother. And for the country to move, any tax going anywhere, this refer me to DRA. Receipts are lost. Why are they lost? I am giving you receipts. Why are these receipts lost? How can we, and we cannot even implement this program-based budgeting. There is no money. We are not collecting the tax that we are supposed to collect because of these leakages. System must be inputted to make sure that no absolute leakages will happen. This country needs to move. And we have to move this country. Those are things that are not going to, and I urge the Assembly to be very serious and take matters on top of issues. Whosoever is not delivering, let put him to book. The laws are there. They need to be enforced. This country have to move, my brothers. This country have to move. And then the beauty is that there are people that are performing very well. The Drug Enforcement Agency, immigration, we all had the amount of money that they pump in. I'm suggesting to the Minister of Finance, let's have another way. Let's have an appraisal whereby we can enumerate those people doing very well, get them something, so that other people emulate to go. Over 180 million that within the 6 months that the immigration department have done that. So why not other people collecting revenue? And I think the Minister of Finance should be here. It was done some time ago when 3 million was extracted from whatsoever, where the drug squad were enumerated to make them do better. Those are the things that we need. We don't want the money to leak out to people that are not serving. We want people that are serving to be enumerated. Enough is enough. This country have to move. This country have to move. And on rental, I think the FPAC have said it clear. If you look at the amount of money that government is spending on rent, office there, it's no more going to happen. Let's be serious and build a massive areas that where all this government will come. Look at these rents. Some of them are not realistic. I own a compound. I'm a senior government officer. I go cut around. You rent my compound, pay me money. We have to be serious. Things have to move, my brothers. Things have to move. We are going to tax government to make sure that this rentage going all over, it will stop. If you look at the budget, any of the budget, rent, 340-something million, that could have built my Jakali Pacha. And I want Jakali Pacha to be built. How do you expect that to be built when everybody is putting a compound for rent? Enough is enough. This country have to move. So I thank you, Tia. That was my contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Lower Fuladu. Honorable members, I now put the question. It has been moved and seconded that this Honorable Assembly do consider the report of the Finance and Public Accounts Committee on the 2019 audited accounts of the government, Auditor General's report on COVID-19 response phase 2, annual activity report and audited financial statements of public agencies and institutions, area and municipal councils. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Any honorable member may now take the floor. I now invite the honorable member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. First of all, I want to congratulate the Gambia Scorpion for going to another AFCON. I want the National Assembly to give them special, it's not part of the report, but it's part of the day. Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, all the institutions are here probably because I see a lot of people sitting in the visitors' chairs today. What I just want to emphasize is we cannot be doing the same thing on and on and on. If institutions are reported here to listen to our report, the report always have recommendations and action points. But to my biggest disappointment and surprise, these recommendations are never implemented by these institutions, and they keep coming here on and on and on, and we also keep speaking to them on and on and on. I think at one point, something should happen that when we give recommendations to institutions, it is now mandatory on them, it is now obligation on them to implement those reports. We cannot be talking on the same thing now, every now and then. The biggest problem in this country is administrative incompetence, lapses, inconvenience, and administrative inconsistency. Because if I look at the Ministry of Education, where it was mentioned paying a retiree on contract, and the contract was also finished, but you keep paying him. This one is a serious administrative lapse that the Ministry of Education should look. And I'm sure Ministry of Education has a lot of retirees that are on contract and their contracts were finished. I'm sure they are still paying some of them. So the Ministry of Education should pay attention to this very well. Honorable Speaker, with regards to the local council, the Gambians will not have their desired performance from the local councils if there is continuous executive interference into their functions and into their daily programs. I think this has to stop. Gambians will see a better council performance if the laws are changed, the local government act is changed. But if the government of the Gambia or the state continue to give them their CEOs, they will never perform. Look at what happened at the Kanifi municipality last time. Executive order to break an office to enter. Now you are telling that CEO, go to that office and do whatever you want to do. You have my backing. This is very wrong. You tell the CEO, you tell the police to go and break an office to let an officer to enter. What are you signaling? You are telling that officer, go to that office, do any corrupt practices, do whatever you want. You got my backing.
Observation.
So, the local government will have their best performance if the executive interference is stopped. I'm not giving you a floor, please. Honorable Speaker, with regards to the state-owned enterprises, I think the government should understand these state-owned enterprises are our strategic national assets. Proposing privatization on them, managing their affairs, appointment based on political affiliations is not going to move these state-owned enterprises. So I think also on that angle, the executive should be very, very mindful. Honorable Speaker, I pray there is no other pandemic in this country or in the world, because I have never seen an instance, or I have never seen any historic moment in this country where government officials play with government funds more than the time of COVID. This was the time many people used as an opportunity to do whatever they want to do with public financing, all because of COVID. So I pray to Almighty Allah, there is no other pandemic in this country. With regards to the issue of contracts, award, and procurement process, Honorable Speaker, I have been in this sector for the past 12 years. Contract management, contract award, and procurement process. This is also another biggest problem in this country, where officials do whatever they want to do with public finance. How we award contracts are not, even though GPPA is there. But to me, at one point, I felt GPPA sending requests to GPPA, approval or not approval, was just a performance. But every contract awarding institution has somebody, they should award this contract. And this is not fair. This is costing government of the Gambia quite a lot of money. Contract that should be $1 million, you snowball it to $3 or $4 million, this thing has to stop. So if you want to organize or manage our public finance system, we have to see how we award contracts and also the procurement process. Honorable Speaker, last but not least, the institutions, I will just repeat what I have said. The National Assembly have wrote and written. The chair of the FPAC committee has spoken. Now, what we now want to see is the actions from institutions so that we are not going to call you for the same report. Honorable Speaker, this brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Lower Latrikunda Sabiji. I now invite the Honorable Member for Lower Salum.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. And I must also thank the committee. They have done a good job. But then the bulk of the document, after all, Honorable Speaker, the recommendation doesn't tie up anything. Honorable Speaker, you cannot be business of the day, always the same issue. What the member for Fuladu West, Lower Fuladu. Honorable Speaker, are we serious as a nation? Honorable Speaker, you can see there's no, in an instant they said a farmer has spent this money. It's only the technocrat now. The member for councillor said we need national prayers. That's what happened. 1,800,000 populace that the internal the national population is 1.8 million. 2 million, sorry, 2 million now. I agree with you, 2 million. We cannot do nothing. Honorable Speaker. Any day we are constant of budget, that whenever there is a budget, that we should, all ministers should come. They said our budget, they have cut our budget. They have cut our budget. We cannot do this, we cannot do that. And when you yourself know that what you are doing is wrong, you can be given allocations. When you actually, what you are doing is wrong. Because if you're given a budget line, that you should do this, you have to divert it in other way around. And again, our biggest problem is the vote controllers, our biggest problems. You can see the gallery is as much as occupied with technocrats. Today, we cause this country to a problem. Honorable Speaker, not the farmers. The consumers are always in the problem. Honorable Speaker, I think decisions should be taken by Parliament because it's a duty bound on us to do the right thing. Somebody can't do the right thing, we will start favoring you. There was a resolution that the FPAC passed here. They said the second phase of the FPAC report, we're going to do something about it. And those resolutions are pending like that. I said here, all these dubious acts, if you are caught, let's make a firing squad at the vocal squad. In other countries, if you are found in a crop practice, you are jailed. Honorable Speaker. Now, how many millions of dollars, Honorable Speaker, that we loot, I mean, not the farmers, we. Business cannot continue as it is. Honorable Speaker, we must serious on what we are doing. If the government cannot present a proper financial auditing, what do you expect the local councils? What do you expect? And where we have people with PhD holders, ACCA, chartered account, you cannot do a proper. What do you expect the local council will do? If you want to follow wrong, you do the right thing, Honorable Speaker, because each of us is taxed to do something. If you can't do it right, leave it. Somebody come in. Now you can check all the reports. In fact, our recommendation is very soft. And we are representing people that are the end users, that are the farmers. Here, on the report, no farmer issues is addressed here. They only address the issue of GPPA, contract hourly, rent. As the member said, you build a house, then somebody come and negotiate with you. And once there's an institution that in fact should negotiate this rent issue, that Cora, you go there, you make your negotiated, and you spend huge amount of money. When you yourself, as a government, you can build offices. You can see what is happening at Kamalo, where the government can build offices for government people. But the chunk of our money is going to rent. And now you can see, you've been, how to call it, a finance director or a vote controller or how to call it, a GPPA custodian in that particular office. 1 year, 2, 3 years, you start driving vehicles, building good house. Honorable Speaker, we have to take this country seriously. To develop this country, it should be less than 5 years. Today, a bag of rice is $2,000. A gallon of oil, 1,500. Where are those monies coming from? The end users. There's no sympathies in us, with the technocrats. Yes, of course I am, because I'm representing an institution. Honorable Speaker, I think the way things are going, it should not be. We have to change our attitude. The entire Gambian people have trust on us and confidence. When you are given a position, make sure you execute your duties as we expected. It cannot be 100%. But all these loopholes, it should not be. Yeah, you've been a government. You cannot represent a proper financial audited. What do you expect this council will do? And they have minimum resources. Even if the act of local government is being prepared by other experts, it's the same. The central government has laws, but even themselves, they are not going through that laws. What do you expect again? Because we are not serious on what we are doing. And again, there will be a judgment and a day of judgment for all this, what is happening. You doing it, you thought that you are doing for yourself, trying to enrich yourself, when you are killing how many people outside? Because this one should be. They said, a business as usual. Put it under the carpet. Now, they said, we are going there. That's not who called us. Just, we put it there and finish with it. We have to take actions. Honorable Speaker. If we cannot do it, we allow others to come and do it for us. Because you can see FPAC report. Now, after you give all this recommendation, what next? What next now? What have you recommended now? Those people who are catch in this dubious act. I have not seen anything there. This Muslim symptom should be take off in our mind and develop this country forward, Honorable Speaker. I am ashamed of myself because today you go down there, everybody are complaining. Everybody are complaining. But for us who are occupying offices, we are not. We always drive luxury cars with ACs. But the end users are always in a problem. Honorable Speaker. The gallery is now fit for purpose. Everybody is sitting down. Now let's talk as a national. Now we are sitting in a national bantaba. I know they cannot speak here, but it is reality that is happening. Now you yourself, you should know that if they touch your institution, that this happen in your institution, is that should happen, Honorable Speaker. Now you can even take that judgment in yourself now. Honorable Speaker.
Speaker, point of. Yes, Honorable Speaker, every member shall restrict his or her observation to the subject matter on the discussion. I think we need to focus on the report, not to make general statements. We can have time for the adjournment debate. Please.
Can you make specific references, Honorable Member?
Honorable member is making general statements about the condition of the country. But what I'm saying is we have a report. He should make reference to the report when he is making his point. So we need to be focused on the report. So if we should all make general statements, we will not finish here. We'll spend weeks here.
Honorable, it becomes very difficult for a report like this to exclude any aspect of operations. The report almost incorporated everything operational in the Gambia. I just want to say that the honorable member for Lower Salum should not include everybody when he's referring to himself. We, the technocrats, for us, we are not technocrats. So you may be a technocrat. But please, it will be difficult to say that he's gone out of the remits of the debate, because the minority leader's presentation is open-edged. It's almost everything. Can you continue, Honorable Member?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I know this parliament is not supposed to be a technocrat.
Yeah.
I know that 100%. But then I was just trying to sanitize the situation. You understand? I know that I am not a technocrat. I know that 100%. But what I'm saying here is the failure of this country is them, Honorable Speaker. You understand? Today, what should make us today not to cry on the Russia, from the war, again. When our farmers are there dry, you can go to the suppos, to the rice fields. There are good working that is happening there. And when these millions of dollars are looted, when farmers are crying down there, Honorable Speaker, it's good we speak the truth. The member for Central Badu, this is 148 institution, ministry, department, agencies are captured that are taxpayers' monies they are working on. So if they don't do the right thing, we have to say it. I cannot confine myself only on this because it's bulky. You understand? But fact of the matter is, Honorable Speaker, let's be serious on what we are doing. And I know most members will speak. I will rest my case here, but then what is happening, Honorable Speaker, is a shame on us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Lower Salum. I now invite the Honorable Member for Brikama South.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. First, I want to thank the FPAC for coming up with this excellent report. And I would like to thank each and every member of FPAC, particularly the subject matter specialists and that of the support staff, especially those in the clerical job. The report is very excellent, it's well written. It has a special format, which I appreciate. And going forward, I think each committee should have tried, we have a standard reporting format that will align to this particular reporting. We really thank you for a job well done. Honorable Speaker, the report is very comprehensive, covering a lot of areas. Chapter 1 deals with the audit of the government COVID-19 response, phase 2. And in my own view, I know that the first phase was laid here that attract a lot of recommendations and resolutions, and thank God this has impact positively in recovering some impresses. And I think this aspect could be a standalone as the second phase, so that it has a complete different recommendations, and that need to be followed to the latter. But if you look at the recommendations they have here, they are very important. And secondly, I would like to the FPAC and the entire National Assembly to work on recovery of certain physical money that were disbursed. And there are a lot of discrepancies that we need to recover. And some of the food items that were distributed, and there are some that were with certain governors. The only unfortunate part of this, like this was 2019, and from 2019 to date, there are a lot of changes within the system. And it's unfortunate for us to be considering this report today in September 2023. From 2019 to 2023, a lot of changes occur. It could be possible some people, may God forbid, may pass away. But actually, to fully follow up this thing and make sure that everything is in line is going to be difficult, but we have to try as a parliament to put the country on a firm footing. Honorable Speaker, also we want to look at this thing, the reporting of the National Audit Office. Sometimes there are a lot of bad logs that are coming very late. So I think we have to work together as a country to make sure that the national audit is at par with the corresponding year, so that if the audit is done in that year, the first quarter of the preceding year, we can do the presentation and possible consideration, so that we'll be able to follow up and make sure that all the recommendations are fully implemented. But again, also with the GPPA reporting, currently the National Audit Office is not at par with GPPA in terms of bad logs. If institutions appear for presentation and consideration, the GPPA sometimes will be absent because they are not at the same level in terms of this thing. So we have to look at it, how are we going to empower to make sure that the manpower of these two institutions should be reimbursed so that they can be able to live up to expectation. And secondly, if there are capacity gaps, how can we work for them to outsource to other audit firms that are available, like in the case of the public enterprises? Honorable Speaker, going forward, there are some areas that I definitely want us to look at it, especially in chapter 2 of the audit report, account of the government, which is very scary the way it is at the moment. If you look at it, I want to mention specifically the timber process that are unaccounted for.
Sorry, can you quote the page?
The page. Page 43. 43 of 97, unaccounted government revenue. The Auditor General third-party confirmation with the Gambia Ports Authority revealed that 2,393 containers of woods and timbers were shipped from 1st January 2019 to 30th April 2019. So in a corresponding figure, this is estimated at 8 million 614,800 euros, US dollars. So if you look at this figure, it's very huge, and this is not is unaccounted. So these are very serious issues as a country. Like my colleague alluded to, whether we are serious as a country. If this is coming from the government of the Gambia, these are very serious issues, and I partially agreed with Lower Salom MP. If we want the local councils to be very much serious, why not the central government? Because this is where everything is centered, and the consolidated local fund, the budget is purely almost 100% goes to the central government, ministries, agencies, and their department. So if there is serious compliance issue with regards to the central government, the issues of internal control, these are very serious issues. And look at the reports, and year in, year out, this continue to persist. It's good for us to ask ourselves whether we are serious as a country. If you look at that one too, I think we have to make sure that this is recovered. It's very serious. So going forward also, Honorable Speaker, let me also quote this page. If you talk about grant disbursement, failure to provide record of grant disbursement. The auditor also noted that there was a grant totaling to 92,323,463 and 51 burus. If you look at these things, I think, and this does not exist under the Ministry of Finance. I think the Ministry of Finance, their primary role, not only to disburse funds to ministries and departments, but to be a serious check on them. The issue of monitoring and supervision is lacking in the country. But look at, even this doesn't exist in the Ministry of Finance, as shown below. So these are very serious things that we have to work on seriously. Honorable Speaker, and also I would like to re-emphasize about the prior year audit matters to be always carried forward to see that, because if these are contained in our books, you find it difficult to attract any donor agencies, because they cannot be there only gathering dust, and there is no effort to resolve these issues or write them off. These are very serious issues. Year in, year out, auditors will pick up the same issues, and they are going to be compiling there. Definitely, I think the charity should begin at home, coming from the central government. Honorable Speaker, I also want to look at the public debt component. What are we looking at it? Like, the debt burden will continue to grow simply because there is serious, what we call, like, serious corruption in the system. This will happen. We cannot be borrowing money or bringing grant and giving to people, use it on an individual level, and continue putting pressure on the citizenry to pay this debt unnecessarily. These are serious issues. I think we need a special ministry that will be responsible for monitoring supervision. That is very, very important. Their primary role is to monitor and make sure that whatever is disbursed to any other MDA is fully implemented to the latter. Because if not, it's going to be difficult. Yes, the National Assembly, as supreme oversight institution, we have a lot of numerous responsibilities. Oversight is one thing, but we have a legislative role, we have a lot of advocacy, and so forth. So, but if we have a ministry that will work in tandem with the National Assembly to make sure that whatever we generate as income should serve our citizenry. These are issues that definitely we have to look at it. And Honorable Speaker, this is going to be a responsibility. FPAC, I want to challenge FPAC. like in a physical year, if you can be producing, because almost all these financial issues, 90% is going to FPAC. If you can be doing reporting almost, if quarterly is not possible, but twice in a year, I think that will help us to look at these issues critically and make sure that we come out with a very strong resolution. We work towards resolving those things. That is very, very important. I know you are tight, you have a lot of issues. Every financial institution are coming to you. But if you can be reporting twice in a year, will really help us to make sure that we implement to the latter. Other than that, Honorable Speaker, I think there are a lot of issues here. I don't want to prolong the Parliament since adjournment debates are coming, but these are extremely important. I want to stop and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Brikama South. Now invite the Honorable Member for Kiang West. Sorry, Honorable Member, if your microphone is not working, why don't you shift? Because since the last breakdown, it looks like not all microphones are working.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, cabinet ministers here present, departments, press, National Assembly service staff, good afternoon. Honorable Speaker, let me also join colleagues to thank FPAC for doing such a great job. FPAC have done what they're supposed to do. I wonder why colleagues are challenging FPAC again. FPAC have done their job so diligently and have come with recommendations. It's left to us as Parliament to come with resolutions as to what we do as far as their recommendations are concerned. So we must commend you for doing such a great job, but commending you will not make sense without commending National Audit Office. We all know that the Auditor General of National Audit Office, by the dictates of the Constitution, the President has the power to appoint. And of course, he did the appointment of the National Auditor General of the National Audit Office. If he could go as far as finding foul place at the office of the President without being silent about it, I am very much grateful, and I want to say thank you very much. Keep it up. Honorable Speaker, I want to start with the two institutions that are very important to give us an analysis that if those institutions are flouting rules of the GPPA, then no institution will respect them, starting with the Office of the President and the Minister of Justice. Honorable Speaker, from the report, page 23 of 97, it reads, failure to adhere to GPPA conditions, conditional approval for rehabilitation work at the State House. It says, Guy Enterprise was awarded a contract of $17,488,155.63 butut for the construction of a new President's office and rehabilitation works at the State House. The audit review revealed that the contractor was required by the GPPA to receive the bill of quantities and submit for approval
before work can commence. And this should include the following. And this has not been done. It says, to clearly define, clarify the supervisory role of the works, as this is not indicated in the submission. This was not indicated in the submission, which is a key component of the work. It also says removal of 950,000 contingency allocation from the contract. 950,000 contingency allocation also from the contract. So if Office of the President could do this, and it does not also stop there under the Office of the President. It says, under inappropriate procurement process by the Office of the President, Roman figure C, it says, goods bought from Fatima Trading amounting to $5,637,000 were delivered to the Office of the President before requesting for single source approval from the GPPA. What is the purpose of the GPPA now? Let's abolish this institution. Let's make an amendment in the Constitution. We have no GPPA. If all the institutions are doing what they want to do, and they are not going through the law, they are not respecting the law, what is the purpose of the institution? And I pity the institution today, but because before they need to seek the approval of the GPPA before they do any process. But now we have promulgated a new GPPA law in this National Assembly where they can do their procurement and GPPA serve as an oversight institution on them. What will they do now? That is the question. All the institutions are flouting rules. Even the Office of the President. If the Office of the President can do this, what is it telling the other institutions? And this is why people are arguing that the President cannot punish people who are found wanting for corruption in this country because his office is found wanting for corruption. This is evident. This is really evident. Honorable Speaker, going to Ministry of Justice, there were several allegations and clarifications were made by Minister in this very House. But it is appearing numerous times, time and time again. It's page 33 of 97. It reads, failure to provide information on Jane Commission proceeds. It reads, as part of the audit of the 2019 government of the Gambia consolidated financial statement by the auditors, it was noted that Treasury receipts amounting to $22,319,957.92 butut were reported as proceeds from the sales of assets by the Jane Commission. And evidences of these things were not provided. These are serious disclaimers. These are serious audit findings. These are adverse audit findings. Information are not provided for auditors' review to substantiate the information that you're giving to them. These are disclaimers that are not acceptable. Sometimes when we talk about them, they seem very simple, but these are very serious matters that we need to look at. And these issues appeared on newspapers, and Minister stood here and clarified it is appearing again, and we need to put a strong resolution to say that in a specific given time, Minister and the people responsible must provide the auditors with the information, with the necessary information for them to substantiate their information, the review, or else we take a step against them. We must take that resolution. Which institution will do it better now? Honorable Speaker, amount of differences that I have recorded from various departments is too huge. From the Minister of Higher Education, concerning the disbursement of funds to students at the embassies, there was a difference of $1,386.08. From the Ministry of Tourism on the GT board, 7 million was recorded. And on the GRA, scanning fees offer stated was a difference of $36 million. So where are these differences going into? Are they not really doing the reconciliation what they're supposed to do? Or they're not doing timely reconciliations? And these differences are not being confirmed by auditors before presenting this report. Where are these differences? We need to question that. Honorable Speaker, another one that I want to talk about here is financial instruments, which is also a very adverse audit finding. It says, failure to disclose financial instruments. The government of the Gambia had subscribed for shares, equity participation.
Honorable member, you must always lead members to where you are quoting.
Page 36. Page 36 on the financial instruments.
Go ahead.
It reads, the government of the Gambia had subscribed for shares, equity participation in African Development Bank, Islamic Development Bank, and ECOWAS Bank of Investment and Development as far back in 2016. Review of the previous financial statements by the auditors revealed that several payments have been made in 2016 to 2017 and 2018 respectively towards these subscriptions. However, the financial statement did not disclose government's equity participation in these banks. Government is not ready to tell them because government cannot tell us, they don't have an expertise to definitely tell the National Audit Office the Gambia government's financial equity participation in these respective banks that you are subscribed to. You don't have an expertise to do that. This is a serious disclaimer, and it is deliberate. Honorable Speaker, under the same, it says, the auditors requested for annual process reports and sales certificates from the Accountant General's Department, to establish the number of shares subscribed in African Development Bank, Islamic Development Bank, and ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, including the amount paid and outstanding balance, but this was not provided for. What is the government telling us? Why are we blaming institutions? The Accountant General, the chief custodian of all the accounts, for the collection of revenues and everything, is doing this as is unable to present such an important document. The Gambia has subscribed to these developed banks, which are international, and they are unable to provide the auditors with this information. What are we telling other institutions? What are we telling councils? Honorable Speaker, moving forward, it says, let me quote another one from, because there are very many serious issues that we really need to look at, but then we might not be able to finish them. This is a report that should take us, in fact, 5, 6, 7, 8 days for us to look at national funds. Imagine COVID-19 response fund. The first budget that was appropriated from this parliament for COVID-19 response fund was $500 million. $500 million. And that was not the end of it. And we all clearly witnessed that the minister stood here in this very parliament and said, there is corruption in my ministry. Everyone was rushing to the front line to have more allowance. There were ghost names included for payments of allowances. COVID-19 response fund. Imagine if $500 million Gambian dollars was spent on agriculture.
If it was spent on education, what are we going to do? Honorable Speaker, coming to the Gambia College, the institution that I have undergone, and I have seen the principal of the Gambia College. I don't know if he has stepped out. Honorable Speaker, on the Gambia College, auditors reported that they have requested management response as far as their audit reports are concerned. It took Gambia College and institution 10 months to just write a management response. This is what we have found. What is your concern? Make clarification. But it took you 10 months. They have not taken the National Audit Office serious. And we have to put a sanction on them as far as this is a strong resolution. If it happens again, we sanction them. This is an institution that we have all undergone, and we are complaining. This is an institution that is recruiting people and posting them to various schools, public schools in this country, to train future leaders, future presidents, parliamentarians, and ministers. If they are being requested to just write management response, it took them 10 months to do this. 10 months to respond to the report of the National Office, just management response. This was serious negligence. In fact, it is gross negligence. In fact, I will call it gross negligence. Honorable Speaker, I will go to the councils and then I will conclude. Looking at the councils, Honorable Speaker, I want to come up with a resolution that immediately, with forthwith, that all the finance directors and accounting officers of various councils must be terminated immediately. Must be terminated immediately, all the councils in the country. Look at the recommendation of FPAC. It says, board conclusion of FPAC. When you get to see, it says, none of the area councils have a proper financial reporting framework. There is an urgent need for a national reporting framework for all the public institutions. This is the poor reporting format of area council is what prevents them from making adequate disclosures. You cannot disclose your expenditures. You cannot. You don't even reconcile your information. You don't do that. So all the councils, all the finance officers and the accounting officers that are representing the president, because the president appoints them, they must immediately with forthwith call back, then be terminated and answer to FPAC. And if they are found wanting of any corruption, and we let them be liable of something. I think we're having anti-corruption bill, which is still in this parliament. I only wish, even after the promulgation of the bill, it will go back onto these issues and make sure that these people are put to task and they are accounted for what they have done. And if they do anything that is wrong, and they pay the price for it. Honorable Speaker, these are issues that I have tried to look at as far as the report is concerned. And lastly, for public enterprises, some time ago in Parliament here, we passed the bill on state-owned enterprises, the state-owned enterprises bill that had looked at certain state-owned enterprises and called them commercial state-owned enterprises. Those are the ones that will be covered by that bill. And I want to question if Ministry of Finance is here, whether we have a public-private partnership bill, whether we have a law that guides that. If we don't have a law that guides that, there is a need, and there's high time we do that. Because I know it is happening. If you are practicing it and you don't have a law that guides it, that could be illegal. So it's important for us to revisit our laws. If we are practicing it, the public-private partnership, we make sure that the PPP bill is presented before the parliament, and we look at it critically to ensure that
we look at the agreement in that. This is quite important. And somebody also talk about public enterprises. Public enterprises cannot be independent. And he talk about executive interference. The Constitution stated that the president shall be the person to appoint the director generals and the board members of the public enterprise and any governing body that is mandated to take charge of the affairs of the public enterprises will be appointed by the president. You dance to the tune of Banta. What would you do? The president appoints them. There is need for constitutional amendments to ensure that these appointments come through parliament. We do serious scrutiny so that these appointments will not be done based on political sentiments. Sometimes they will say political interference. I say executive interference. Honorable Speaker, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I have a long list of members who want to partake in the debate. Honorable members, I think before we close up for lunch and prayers, I think this is the last port of call for Gambians. That's why we are sent here as an oversight institution. Rather than we be lamenting what next to be done, if nothing comes out from here, it means the ball will be in our own court, nobody's court. So I think we should look at the recommendations and then try to see how do we get what we want, do we get things corrected. Always bearing in mind, honorable members, that for people, for value addition, for you to be able to improve on something, you must do something. And where you have errors, those are excusable. If you want to innovate and during that process something goes wrong, you try again, you learn from it. But people who deliberately go to do things contrary to the wishes of the people and the regulations, I think we should come out with something than always lamenting. Everybody will talk and lament. That's the last bug. That's where it stays. So let's think about that. Honorable members, I think we will now break off for prayers and lunch. It's almost 14:41. Can we come back in the next 40 minutes? Let's say 3:30. It's 19 minutes to 3. I think 3:30 would be okay. Okay. Then we now. Huh? Yeah, we now suspend the House until 3:30.